title of our review is the title of this book, Scalabrinian Path to Holiness. If in these 5 days I'm able to convince you that the most important thing in our life is to become saints, then I accomplished my goal. So first of all, our constitutions, they say, having been called to holiness by God in virtue of baptism, we strive for perfect charity toward God and our fellow humans. Having been called to holiness. You see that the most important thing that we can accomplish in our life is to become saint. And if among you there is one that will be able to become a saint, our congregation is going to be very happy. Actually, our congregation will fulfill its mission for this century, because we have a few. You know that 2 weeks ago, the Vatican approved the heroic virtues of Father Giuseppe Marchetti, who died at the age of 26 or 36. Very young. He started the orphanage in São Paulo, Brazil, for all the children that were losing their parents while going from Italy to Brazil. And now he's in his way to become blessed. Last October, his mother, Assunta Marchetti, was declared a blessed. And she is the founder, together with Scalabrini, of the Scalabrinian Sisters. We have Massimo Rinaldi, who is a bishop, who it was the moment of crisis in our community when the Vatican wanted to suppress, to close our community. And Massimo Rinaldi was a missionary, and he was well known because his uncle was also a bishop. And he wanted to save the community. The Vatican, in order to avoid the problem, they made him a bishop in Chieti, and there he became a saint. And then, luckily, through the good works of Cardinal Rossi, our community started a new life and developed for the work. Well, I met, for instance, Father Tarcisio Rovini, who died 20 years ago. And I met him in New York. A very interesting Scalabrinian missionary, who now is also a servant of God in the way to become blessed. So, we have to say that our little community already gave 4 or 5 saints to the church. But it's because of them that our community grew and became a worldwide community. Today, we need other saints. If we want our community to continue, if we want the work of the church for Holiness to continue, we need 1 or 2 saints. Among you, it could be 1 or 2 saints. Actually, we all have to strive to become saints, because our work, like Scalabrini used to say, sanctificarmi e santificare, means to become a saint for myself and be able to convince other people to make them saints. That was his phrase from the pastor. He used to say, sanctificarmi e santificare, means to become saints and to sanctify. Now, we're going to take a little journey. How to go up to the mountain of holiness. And we know that holiness is union with God. How do we get in touch with God? So the first topic tomorrow is going to be prayer. I can assure you that if you promise yourself to do all your personal prayers and community prayers, plus 1 hour every day, you become saints. It's a guarantee. So you do your prayers, community prayers, plus 1 hour a day, you become a saint. because God has a chance to work on you. See, when you come to pray in silence, in front of God, God can act upon you. God can transform us. God can really change us. So prayer is very, very important. Prayer is the key to everything. And if we learn how to pray, then we come to meet God and be transformed by God. He will do the job. He'll do the work. But we have to allow Him. We have to be able to come to His presence. Then we're going to look at a few examples. I was really surprised to see that most of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, that we have Joseph and Moses, they were all immigrants. They were all foreigners. So our community is right there with Abraham, Isaac, and Moses. Because they were all, God made them immigrants. Imagine Abraham, God says, get out of your house, get out of your family, go in the land that I will show you. He didn't told him where to go. I says, I'll show you. And then you have Jacob, Joseph. Joseph was sold by his brothers. We can call him a refugee. He goes to Egypt, he becomes famous, he becomes vice roi. That means the second person most powerful in Egypt. Like many of our immigrants, they become very important, very powerful where we go. But then he never forgot his brothers, never forgot his traditions, never forgot that he was a Jew. And then he helped his brothers, saved his brothers, his family. And that's what many immigrants do today. They keep their tradition, their faith. Then, if we want to become saints, we have to deny ourselves, Jesus says, and do the will of the Father. To do the will of God is a great holiness. If I can put aside my own will and do whatever God wants from me, God can do wonders. God can do miracles for us. God can do really, really great things. But it's too bad that many times we put our own little will in trouble, and because we don't want to follow the will of the Lord. And so we prefer to do our own little things instead of being able to open up to the great work of God. So we'll see how also to develop this sense of following the will of God. And then we are going to look into our way of holiness. This is a Scalabrinian way. We have our own way to become saints, which the founder of most of the church. The church has approved of this little book. And if we follow this book, we become saints. And saints, the way that we, as immigrants, can become saints. And show the way all immigrants become saints. So you see that basically becoming saints is a goal of our whole life. Why are we in community? To save money. Why are we in community? To support each other? Yes. But most of all, we are in community because we have to help each other to become saints. Because that's the goal for everybody. And most of all for us. Our own way, the way is going to be the way of the migrants. That's our own path to holiness. So we go through, these days, all these topics, one by one. And I just want to repeat again, try to find out your way to become saints. Here we are all different. And we can all find our own different ways. But everybody has to reach the final goal to become saints. So, this is a little bit the idea of our journey together. We want to become saints like Scalabrinian, but most of all, saints as migrants and former migrants. Because the greatest help we can do to the immigrants is to show them the way of holiness. Because many times they lose their goal because they go to find work, they go to find money, they go to find happiness, and many times they don't find it. Why? Because they forget that the only way is through holiness of life. So let us kind of put our mind into this. What is my way to become a holy person? Because like Scalabrinian used to say, if you, says, try to become holy, says everything else will flourish in your hands. Says you become holy, and then everything you do is going to flourish in your hands. That's a beautiful sentence Scalabrinian used to say. And it is true. In my simple life, as Scalabrinian missionary, I can say, you know, sometimes you work so hard for something and nothing happens. Then you go in church and say, please Lord, says, I cannot do this anymore. You do it. You go out, everything good happens. It is almost incredible to see how much more we can do when we are in touch with God than when we, by ourselves, we try everything to do everything possible. And if we are in touch with God, even our work, even our actions will produce because they come from God. So remember that if you become saints, everything will flourish in your hands. That was Scalabrinian used to say. And it is true even today. So for tonight, just try to ask yourself, but what is my way to become a saint? What is the way in which I can slowly reach that goal? Because if I reach that goal, it's not just good for myself, but it's going to be good for the community, it's going to be good for the migrants, and for the church. See, the saints, we remember them all every day. But those, like, who remembers the emperors of the Roman Empire? And they were very powerful. They were very strong, but nobody remembers them anymore. But small, humble saints, we remember them every year. And for the past 2,000 years, we have been remembered them. So it is important. We have a center down there, the San Lorenzo, who is a small migrant who went to Japan and then they killed him. And nobody knows, but we remember every year. Small saints, like Therese of Lisieux. She died at 24 years of age. 24. She was dead. She was in the convent only 9 years. And she became saint, famous all over the world. So you see, the saints, they mark the history of mankind. The powerful, the rich, nobody remembers. So that's important, because the saints become like lights to guide thousands, millions of people. Good. So try to ask yourself, what is my personal way to become a saint? It is like Father Mariano told you tonight, your personal project of life. That has to reach holiness, because that's the goal for each one of us and for all of us. So, good night.